Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It is Wednesday, July 16th. So, what are we going to talk about today? Well, we're going to talk about what everybody that's been in this business for some time already knows, and that is the slowdown midsummer. And we also have it midwinter. But what are ways that we can capitalize on it? So, stay tuned. Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric, and yes, this is the weekday, Monday through Friday. Today is Wednesday, July 16th of 2025. So, what are we talking about today? I'm talking about what happens to every shop owner, or most of us, and that is midsummer slowdowns. And what is a midsummer slowdown? A midsummer slowdown basically is a slowdown in the shop. And why is that? Well, either A, people are on vacation, B, they're too busy, or C, they're they really don't want to put the money into something at that point in time. But any of the above cause most of us to have shop slowdowns. And what do you do during those periods? Because you're like, well, I got to have my income, right? I got to have so much a month. And that's why I say in past videos is when you're slammed is the time to bank money and not spend it as fast as you're making it. And I've seen this happen to too many shop owners that didn't last very long. And that is they get used to that quick money is coming into the accounts and they start spending it as quick. You're not taking into account the summer slowdown and the winter slowdown. There's two different slowdowns in our business. And if you budget for the year, not for just certain months, but if you budget it out for the year, then when you're slammed, that money should be going into a savings account to get you through the lull periods, okay? And what do you do during the lull periods? Well, for us, anyways, I have haying that I get done. So the slowdown in July is perfect for me. I would rather have it like that. That way I can get my haying done to get the hay ready for this coming winter for the beef cows. So I have a side hustle that I'm working on during that lull. You could take on projects like this is the best time to do upgrades to the shop. Whether it's cleaning, painting, organizing, what have you, this is the ideal time to do it. When you have the time to get your shop looking the way it should be looking, right? Or you could take on different projects that you wanted to add to it. Maybe you want to extend the air reach so that you have air plugs along certain walls. Or you want to swap out air compressors. Or you want to put welder plugs, in other locations so that you can have more places to plug it in. There's so many things that you could be doing that you're thinking about when you're slammed, all right? So what I do, and my best advice to you is when you're slammed and you're wishing you had X, Y, and Z, write those down and do it during the lull times, the slow times, when you do have time to do that stuff. And you could take on different projects as well, long-term projects, whether it's an engine rebuild, a tractor clutch, what have you. It's all about you, what your skills are, location. It's going to dictate what you can do during those lulls, right? And the same holds true for the winter months. You're going to have that period after the fall rush of the snowblowers, right? And the only thing you're going to see most of the winter is breakdowns. Unless you're a shop that you're floor planning. So you might get a few sales here and there after a freak snowstorm or something. But other than that, it's quiet. So trying to bank on just the income coming from a small engine repair shop on a monthly basis is very hard. And a lot of times I mean, if you're doing it right and you take the amount of money you made for the year and divide it by 12, and that kind of gives you your budget for the following year, right? And that's where you want to stay, is within that budget. Because there's certain things that don't change, and that's utilities, rent, lease, insurances, all those stuff have to be paid. And what I've seen people do is they get into this business in the spring of the year, and if they're lucky enough, they can't keep up. And the money's rolling in. But the problem is the owner is looking at the money saying, wow, I'm making really good money. I'm going to go out and buy X, Y, and Z, a new shop truck or new tools, or the list goes on. Only to find out 3 months later it's crickets. And now what? You have no money left in the accounts because you went and spent it all. What do you do now? That's something you need built into your repertoire when it comes to running a business. You can't just run from the highs. You got to take the highs, the lows, and get somewhere in the middle, right? And for each of us, it's going to be a little bit different. Just painting the floors in the shop or painting the walls, any upkeep that you've been putting off because you didn't have time, now you have time. That doesn't mean that you can't do jobs in between, because the way it's always been is if a customer's machine rolls in, we're on that until it's fixed or until we're waiting for parts or something. And that comes before any of the projects that we have at the shop. So it's not taken away from our customer. It's just knowing that there's certain things that need to be done, and when is it a good time to do it? Rearranging the shop when you're slammed is not a good idea. I don't know how Claude does it, but he has tools everywhere, but he knows where everything is. I have to put mine back in my toolbox as I'm using them, so I know exactly where they are. Staying organized is a better way. I said it before, if I look at a mechanic and they're spotless, then I know they haven't worked that hard. It's going to be a very long video this morning. I'm just going to start wrapping this up because I'm feeling kind of puggy and I'm not looking forward to the hayfield today, but that's where I'll be. But no, it's just as important to plan for the slow times as it is for the slam times. If you don't plan, you're going to fail. So if you take and bank the money when you're slammed into the savings account to get you through the slow times, you will do well. If you're a spendthrift, it's great knowing you, and you'll be done. So on that note, put in the comments what your thoughts are. What do you guys do during the slow times in your shops? Could be automotive, could be small engine, could be anything. What are you doing that is bettering your shop? So on that note, you guys have a great Wednesday. We'll see you here bright and early tomorrow morning for another episode of the weekday. You guys enjoy today.